What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rise and Grind. Happy Monday. It is a fresh start to a new week. I hope you guys are ready to get after it this week. And we got a lot of good stuff going on. So Megan, let's let you kick it off. How was your first off? How was your weekend?
It was so good. I got to see my friend, and she lives really far. So we drove. We found what could have been like a halfway point between us, and we drove.
How far was it? How far did you drive?
It was 2 hours from me, but she made a much longer trek. She made like a 3.5 hour trek, but it was so nice to just spend the day together. We went and saw different flowers and gardens, and we didn't shut up for like 7 hours straight, which was so nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
Cool. It was good. It was good. It's filled with family, riding my bike with my kids on it.
Oh.
We went to the beach, actually. Actually, it was really cool. We went to the beach, took the kids to the beach, and because it was kind of like a nice.
First time, the twins?
No, we took them last year.
Yeah,
because in the summertime we do like dinners at the beach, and so we did that with them when they were like little babies.
That's so sweet.
But so we took them back, and they were loving it, like just loving it. So I can't wait for the summer. But yeah, it was a packed weekend of family stuff.
Yeah, I always forget. Like, we're so lucky to live so close to be able to just take our dinner up to the beach some nights.
Yep.
So what a luxury.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we started to do it. We're like, we got to start doing this more often. Jacqueline, I'm going to give her credit for that because she's like, let's do it. And I remember at first I'm like, the logistics around that are going to be absolutely crazy. Like, we have three kids, you know, the little babies. You have Johnny who's still like, you know, freaking whatever. But you know, it's great though. It does because again, when you live close, if you live coastal, like you typically don't tend to take as much advantage as you should of the actual beach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's
There's
there.
some people who have never seen the beach in their life, and we live. I mean, our office is across the street.
Literally, we're one block. And honestly, we never got. That's why we said this year, the summer executive meetings are taking place there.
At the beach, yeah.
100%.
I'm all for that.
Chris is trying to get that out. But
work on
we're doing
my tan while we're there.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Translucent Megan.
Yeah. Listen, I protect my skin. You know, that's healthy. That's a healthy thing
I like
to do.
it. So I'm going to kick us off with my handy dandy new Meta glasses. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to talk about these Meta glasses. So one thing I'll say is obviously this is still early phase. I was out in Charleston on vacation. By the way, I'm going to start recording. Get a little. So see how I get the little flash in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently people were blocking that, so you can't see like that people are recording you. And now it'll say like your sensors are blocked. Like it won't like
really?
It gives you an issue.
And it won't record?
Correct.
Oh.
Robbie's hitting too much on the jack. Where's Emily? Where's Emily? Like you laugh, you put it on you for laugh. Well, let's slow it down there, Bot Shops. But so anyway, so I'm really liking them though so far. Number one, it's a whole Bluetooth as well. So you can listen to music, I can take calls here.
Like there's a speaker in the
ear. Nice. And it's like just loud enough where you can't hear it. Like and like because like if I'm asking and talking to it, you probably won't hear it, but it's loud for me.
Huh.
But the camera is actually really impressive. So like when I'm doing certain things, like I got it because my one of my cousin-in-laws, he was like, oh, I'm going to get it and just be able to record like my kids. So it's like easier. Like if I have moments, I just boom, record them. And so that's why I got it. But honestly, so far it's pretty cool because you have Meta AI built into it. You have all the different things. So when we were in Charleston and I was like, all right, like we're going to go to this one restaurant. Where is it? I could be like, you know, hey Meta, like go, like where's this restaurant? And it would take me to, it would like literally make a left here, go here, whatever.
Wow.
So like I'm just, and then these and the sun turn into sunglasses.
Ah.
So I got them so that, you know, like most people who wear like actual glasses have that.
Yep.
So that's why I got these. I'm like, all right, because I can wear them as like blue lights when I'm like working. And then when I'm not working, I'm outside and whatever, like, you know.
We're going to go outside. I need to see the transition.
Yeah.
We need to go to outside.
It's really cool.
This. Yeah.
But
that is really cool.
But so the craziest thing that I was thinking about though is it's like, you know, we sit here and we see how many things have been changed because of technology, right? Like a phone now is everything we know it is. It's a camera, it's the internet, it's 10 quadrillion things, right? So at the end of the day now, on my glasses, I can text, I can get directions, I can take pictures, I can record.
From your glasses.
And again, right now I'm recording technically, so you know there's that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know it's been super cool, and I think you know it's just going to continue to show how much like it's going, like the tech that we're in the future.
Yeah.
Like it was like one thing when it's like, oh, the iWatches are nuts or smartwatches are crazy because like you can do everything on your watch and not put your phone out. Now I don't even have to do like this. I just be like, hey Meta, read my text messages. Hey Meta, remind me of this. Like, where's the directions to this? What's the weather? Like everything you would do on your phone. I mean, obviously besides the visual component of it right now, which Google's working on, we talked about last time.
Yeah.
Is there. So far, I really like it. The only thing I'll say so far on it, though, is that the battery does not, if you're using it for like a solid like trip, like it dies pretty quickly. But it also does, because it charges in the case. It charges pretty quickly in the case too.
And so you charge the case and then it charges.
Yeah. So like
AirPods do.
Exactly right. It's exactly like that. So you do a little pop job.
Wow.
A little pop job here.
Oh yeah. And then
it starts charging. But listen, it charges pretty quickly though too. So I will give it that. Like, so when I was using it in Charleston, I probably used it for like 5 or 6 hours because I was just going nuts. Meta, take a picture. Meta. Like literally, it was a joke.
Well, it's nice to not have your phone out.
That's what I mean. You're kind of present, but then Jacqueline and my friends were getting annoyed because they're like, dude, like stop saying hey Meta. Because every time
needs a new name.
Hey Meta, right? But so ultimately, again, it's really cool. It's really cool tech so far. It does have its limitations, but it's just very interesting to see. And then again, the same things that we'll leverage like on a computer with ChatGPT as an example, because Meta is obviously competing in the AI space right now too, heavily. So like things that I would ask you, right? So we talk about it in work, like, oh, I'm about to have a difficult conversation with a team member, like blah, blah, blah. Like you could do that and just like walk around and do circles and like, and have sunglasses on. It's like,
and have sunglasses
and like there's
on.
nothing in your ears, whatever else. The only thing that I'm super skeptical about right now, though, is the fact that like it's like when you look at the EMFs from like all our devices, now it's like one's directly on your head.
Yeah, but like
so
we use our phones, and that's you're holding your phone.
But it doesn't sit there on your head for hours, right?
Yeah, that's true
I don't know.
Too.
I mean,
or like that's why you don't really wear AirPods anymore because of that
stopped,
too.
Yeah. But now it's crazy. So on my what you call it, my computer now, these are my AirPods.
Oh, so you have to put those on to be able to hear.
Exactly.
That's really funny.
Pretty crazy.
Well, first of all, these things that we have, like the sunglasses, the watch, you would see them in spy movies like back in the 90s and think like, wow, that's next level. Like, could you imagine your glasses recording for you or talking for you? Like that was, and now it's something that's so normal and accessible, mind you. Like it's like, how much were those? Probably like a few $100.
So normal Ray-Bans. So the reason why I got them. So the normal Ray-Bans, I think they're like $275.
Yeah, they're like $300.
And these were $375.
Oh my god, so accessible to where like when the evolution of TV, right? When it went from like the box TV to a flat screen TV, those were thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. It was new technology. Not a lot of people had them. Now, this new technology is really affordable.
Well, that's the only thing. Well, not the only thing, but that's what I like about Zuckerberg is that he likes to make products that everybody can buy. And like when you look at like the Oculus, when it competed with the Apple Vision Pros, like everyone's like was going crazy over the Apple Vision Pros. And then what happened? Like people like they're too expensive. They're not worth the expense. It's like way too. It's like, and you'd pay $3,000 or $4,000 for Apple Vision Pros, and then for Meta Quest, which I have, the new one, I think it's like $350. Like it's like something like $300, $400. So when you think about it, it's like the Apple Vision Pros are like 4 or 5 times the price.
Yeah.
And like the experience wasn't apparently that much crazy. I don't know. I didn't get the Apple Vision Pro, but I like that Zuckerberg does that though.
Yeah, I mean, he makes it accessible for all, which I think is fair too. Especially if technology is evolving so rapidly, everyone should get to experience it a little bit.
Right.
But then also you mentioned like having a difficult conversation, and I saw an article recently that said that that's actually the number one use of ChatGPT and AI right now is people trying to find ways to have difficult conversations or approach certain scenarios. And so it's really interesting that we have this tool where we can research anything, and the number one people want to know is, how do I communicate better with each other? But it's like we're trying to communicate better, but we're using technology to do it too, which I think is pretty funny. Like we're leaning on robots to teach us how to communicate.
It is. And again, like I said, I'll say this until I'm blue in the face, but literally everybody in my life and in Adapting Social or any other, anything I'm involved in, I will never, ever leverage like generative AI to communicate like directly with you.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you and I are in a situation and like, you know, we're going back and forth about something, like I'm never going to be like, ChatGPT, here's the situation, copy paste. Like I'm always going to be like, that's what makes me me. So I'm going to be me, whether it's rough or not. Because this is the thing. People are trying to do things now because like, oh, it can make me more professional, or it can make me not as harsh, or it can make me better. But the thing that I think, again, like I'm always going to lean on for me, for my individual communication, right? Which is very different. If I'm preparing a speech or if I'm going somewhere and I want to make it me, but also get some feedback, that's a little bit different because obviously I'm addressing an audience. I don't know people in the room, whatever. When I'm having direct communication with people, I will never, ever, ever leverage that stuff.
No.
That's just me personally. And there's so many times, again, and I call everybody out, but like when that happens in this company, it drives me fucking nuts.
You are the number one call out of it. Yeah. Like, did
and
you
Megan,
just use ChatGPT for me?
Yeah. And we got to listen. Also, we got to use you as a good example. When you botch job the email.
Yeah. I never use AI for my responses. And Megan John in the middle of the day was like, hey, can you respond to this really? It wasn't even though.
It was a colossal. It was a colossal botch job. But anyways, but I think the learning though from that is obviously most people here who know like that Gmail has Gemini built into it now. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you could be like, hey, summarize this email, or hey, generate a response. And again, the email, I know how you write. So I knew from the top of the email.
Within 30 seconds, John's like, you use Gemini to write that?
Yeah.
Like how did you know? How did you know?
Because I know your tonality.
Yeah.
And I know how you write.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, when I saw that, like it wasn't her, that wasn't the main issue. The main issue was obviously that what it generated wasn't correct.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Yeah.
Based on the context of the conversation, it generated something that wasn't correct in a situation that we were talking about particulars. And so the particular was off. Mm-hmm. And so I saw that, obviously you didn't see it.
Yep.
And Megan just blasted it into botch oblivion. So at the end of the day, it's one of those things where it's like when you're leveraging AI though, guys, it's really important that, again, when you're using it for communication, again, individualized communication with the people that you work with or your family or whatever else, don't look like a freaking idiot. You will look like an idiot if somebody sees you and you're not writing the way you write or sounding the way you sound. And everyone knows now, and it's corny. It's so corny. I hate it. Like, it's different if it's like, okay, you're articulating something a little bit better and you want to get ideas. Like, that's one thing. But if you're talking to a friend or your spouse or your coworker or your colleague, and again, if you're like 10 rows away in this hierarchical company where your boss is so far removed from you that they don't know your tonality, that's a little bit different, right? Like, but I just think the people who know you and you use it, it's so obvious. It's just so obvious, and it makes you lazy. Especially, again, like there's one thing to do the copy and botch job, and there's another thing where it's like, dude, you don't know those fucking words. Like, what are you talking about? You're not that smart, okay? Like, chill.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying in general, like certain people like don't use that. And there's a lot of the thing I love about AI is like I identified instantly with AI when it writes certain things and how it writes the patterns and how it puts unnecessary hyphens and whatever else. That's like the dead giveaway.
I don't know though. I use unnecessary hyphens.
Not really.
I do though.
I could go through all of our messages we've ever had, and
I bet you every single one has a hyphen.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I'm weird, or I know, like, again, like if Rob ever tried to use ChatGPT to text me or to call me, I would fucking know with the first letter. I wouldn't even read the rest of the sentence. I'd be like, this guy. But anyway, so you got to be careful.
It's helpful, right? Like for some, it is helpful. For others, you don't want to use it verbatim because it takes personality away. And the funniest thing too is like to win with AI, it needs human content. So when we're relying on AI for content, it's like creating this cycle that we just can't get out of per se. So
it needs context.
It needs context, but it also just needs like what's going on in the world so that it can learn and continue to give you the right information. But there's also, so on Google search now, you know how there's your images tab, your news, shopping, so on and so forth. So now they're testing AI mode. Where it's Gemini, but it's just going to be its own search tab within Google search. So that's next level, especially because it's one of the first search tabs. So instead of searching the way you normally would and getting your Gen AI response followed by different websites, it's going to be just your Gemini prompt. So people can ask longer and more difficult questions or follow-up questions, but what that means for search is it's going to become a lot more competitive. Think about that. You're going from a Google search results page where there's a spotlight, but still the opportunity to be mentioned, to now it's just your AI prompt. And how many businesses do they mention? You know, how many websites do they mention? Maybe 5 in their response, if that.
On average, yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to get a lot more competitive. And now you don't have to go to Gemini to access it. It's right in Google search.
Right. Yeah. It's simple. It's right there. Again, at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing is like, we know right now that search on Google is down for like the first time in like 20 years. And so they're panicking, obviously. So like they're trying to figure everything out on their side, which again, I would be doing the same thing. I think most people would that own a business. And so they're really like getting a priority to make sure that at the end of the day, like the things that they're building are going to still fit search. But the interesting challenge that Google has is that like there was this model where I forget the guy's name. So they have this podcast and they talk about all this financial stuff, but they said like search for Google is actually the smallest part of its business, but it's the biggest gateway into the other products, right? So like when you pay for Gmail or you pay for YouTube, you know, for TV or other things, there's like billions and billions and billions of dollars being spent on these other channels, where search I think is like 7 billion, other ones are like 90 billion, 70 billion. So there's a lot more money being spent in their other products. But again, they've always been known for search. They're a search engine, and it's always been a gateway into the rest of their products. So it's like super interesting because again, if Google's search just dies tomorrow, like they're still a really big company, and they're still a really successful company. But they're not going to let that happen. But they have a unique position where, because like for search, all of their revenue comes from businesses advertising, right? So like if businesses aren't ranking anymore, right, because Gemini and generative AI overview and things like that, it's like, then what happens, right? Like where does their revenue go? So
well, I also think about, you just said like a lot of their business comes from ad space. And so if we're not using traditional search where you would see those ads and we're using AI, you know, will there be ads on Gemini moving forward? Like where will the ad space start to pop up?
That's the unique position they're in.
Yeah, really unique position. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that over the next few years of some ads being integrated into, you know, ChatGPT, Gemini, same thing, ChatGPT. So for both of them, ChatGPT and Gemini, how they perform their local searches is through Gemini does it through Google Business Profile, and ChatGPT does it through Bing Places and Bing Data. So you really want to make sure that your information is correct on both of those places, that it's being updated so that you're being pulled into those. I don't either.
I'm saying from a personal experience, like I don't
use Bing. Yeah. I can't remember the last time that I used Bing. Some industries they do. I know, you know, for some, a lot of people's laptops are connected through Microsoft, so they use Bing naturally, but it's not for me. I don't like the interface of it for some reason.
Yeah. We're native to Google.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. But so this past quarter, Reddit users have continued to increase, which to me is no surprise. Are you using Reddit?
Not really.
I love Reddit. And I didn't think that I would love Reddit as much as I do, but it's such a unique place.
How often are you on it?
For honestly, at least every day.
Really?
Yeah. I get sucked down the rabbit hole of things, especially because a lot of times I go to search something and then you have your Gen AI response, but right under it, you have like TikTok pops up, Reddit pops up too. And I'm always like, what are other people saying about this? Like, I kind of want to know, outside of a business perspective, what are the actual consumers saying about this one product or business or whatever? And so I go there and I feel like you get just this really raw, authentic, unhinged type of conversation where you know you can take it for what it is, as opposed to Google reviews. Like
because it's like anonymous users, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's anonymous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really unique. It's interesting that users are increasing there. And I also hear that a lot of businesses are also using ads there as well, because more ad space is popping up, more users. Yep.
Megan's like number one search is how to not botch emails with Gemini.
Oh my God, John, you just like want to bully people.
Has anybody ever done this before?
Like I do. In the how many years that I've worked here, it's like one email out of the millions that have been sent.
Well, listen, guys, if you're watching in
You can't make
business,
mistakes.
no, in business, you're only as good as your next at bat. All right.
Oh
I'm just busting your
God,
chops.
John.
But anyway, but what I don't understand though with Reddit for me, like actually I've gone on Reddit a couple times. I just don't leverage it as much because like everything you're looking up in Reddit, like why can't ChatGPT tell you that?
Because it's not a real person's perspective. ChatGPT is like summarizing, in my opinion. I think ChatGPT is really good for factual based information. Like you want to research, like you want to get the facts about something. And then it's like, well, what are the opinions? Like, what are people's opinions? What's worked for them? Because it's not really like
but you can ask ChatGPT that,
right?
You can ask ChatGPT.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
opinions.
I think I just like the
you like scrolling,
the dialogue. No, I think I just like the dialogue that's there of like.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different.
If you're watching this, put in the comments. Are you a Reddit user or are you not? I'm curious for how many people use Reddit. I remember back in the day, I used to always bust chops with Brandon and a couple of other team members where I was like, guys, nobody uses Twitter. And it's like, do you use X? Nope. Are you on X ever?
No.
Yeah. Why not?
I don't know. I just have no use for it for some reason. Why
aren't you on it?
I just never got into it. I never even downloaded it.
Really? No downloads.
I feel like it turned to like more drama than like.
Yeah. Well, it's very celebrity, political.
Yeah.
Like sports. Like, yeah. I never was really big on it myself either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't get into it. But I also like Threads is another one that I've never really got
Threads.
into either.
Everybody downloaded it, made a profile, and
it was meant to be like X, and exactly everyone made a profile and then let it, fizzle out. So,
did you get a personal Threads?
I did get a personal Threads.
Did you? Damn, Rob ain't getting nothing.
Yeah.
Works for a social media company.
No, I did.
The guy's still on MySpace.
I did just download though too. I'm excited to use this. So Instagram just came out with its own editing app.
Yeah, I downloaded that.
Yeah, I downloaded it this morning. I'm like, I'm gonna play around with it today and see
it's pretty cool
what comes of it. But I saw they added a ton of new features like different voiceover languages and fonts and stuff like that. So I'm gonna see how that is.
But one thing I forgot to mention though, speaking of the Ray-Bans, the Meta Ray-Bans. So when these things right now, what I'm starting to notice, if anybody like followed my story, like today I'm gonna put it up, but like it actually shows that you are on, like you leveraging a Meta Ray-Ban for a story that you put up. So at the end of the day, like when you're using this and it gets more views, like when I put up a couple of different stories, it shows in the top left of your story icon, the Ray-Ban glasses. And so like when I put up a post, like on the beach as an example, I got like double the amount of views and engagement on it than I did otherwise. So again, if we're looking for some engagement hacks, that's why today I came with the Ray-Bans, did a quick little walkthrough, like a behind the scenes type of situation. And, at the end of the day, like, again, those types of things are getting more views. So it's like, again, as a business or as a brand, you always got to look at like what can help build engagement. And right now that's one, because they're pushing that. And that's obviously like huge. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's all she wrote. So Megan's about to go catch a flight real quick. Where are you going, Meg?
I'm going to LA to speak with MailChimp. I'm speaking on MailChimp's panel about SMS marketing, which is super exciting.
Let's
go. What an honor to be able to do that. So
do you know what? So I'm gonna ask you a question on air live.
Okay.
Just to see this answer.
Testing me out.
Why is it special that you're going there?
Why is it special that I'm going there? For Adapting Social as a brand, I think it puts us in such a unique spotlight as an expert, which is something that, like, from the day that I started at Adapting Social, I always, saw the brand being this, like, big company that everyone looked to for, like, what marketing is and what's next in marketing, and, like, to be able to create that. And then now sitting here, it's like we did create that.
Yep.
And these opportunities are coming to us now, and it's just like a pinch me moment where, and this is just the beginning too. It's like there's so many more opportunities, and Adapting Social is only getting bigger and smarter, and and so I'm really excited about that.
I love it. So the reason why I think it's a full circle moment, it's pretty crazy, is because the first thing you started doing here was emails on MailChimp.
Yeah, that's true too. Yep.
That's the biggest point, right? So it's like crazy because, again, it's full circle moment. Literally, Megan, as an intern here, was doing email stuff first on MailChimp.
Yeah, sure was.
And then here you are. So you should
Yeah.
leverage that when you talk.
Yeah, I definitely will. Because I've seen the evolution of the MailChimp platform, and it's come a
Exactly.
really, really, really long way.
Exactly. But guys, again, happy Monday. I hope everybody gets after this week. It's a fresh week. Whatever happened last week, put it behind you. Again, whether you're botching an email last week or you're botching a camera like Rob, at the end of the day, there's one thing you got to focus on, okay? It's what you could do this week, okay? It's a fresh week, clean slate. Get after it, guys. We'll see you back next Monday. Have a great day. Take care.